Hello and welcome to the Film Pulse Podcast. This is episode number 225. My name's Adam Patterson. Joining me today, we got Kevin Rakestraw. How you doing, Kevin?
I'm doing okay.
Cool. It's good to hear. I'm glad to hear it. I'm happy for you. I'm doing all right.
Good.
No complaints. A little hectic right now in my life, but it's sorting itself out. It's a good kind of hectic.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep. This week on the show, we'll be reviewing Andrzej Zulawski's final film, Cosmos, along with the coming-of-age comedy, Morris from America. We'll also be talking about some other stuff we've been watching on the watch list, movie predictions, new on video on demand, Blu-ray releases, the huge.
So much to talk about.
There is a lot, and I have a huge watch list this week.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. So strap in, folks. Strap in. I was thinking
it's gonna be lopsided because I don't have much.
That's okay. We can discuss the stuff I watch. That's okay. Let's talk about some Cosmos first. What do you think?
Let's do it.
There's the first tab I had open. There's no reasoning behind me choosing Cosmos.
Right.
I'm just going with it. So this is directed by Andrzej Zulawski. I have a synopsis here. Witold just failed his law school examinations, and Fuchs has just quit his job at a Parisian fashion company. Arriving for a few days away at a so-called family guest house, they are greeted by a series of unsettling omens. A sparrow hanging in the forest, then a piece of wood in the same condition, and finally signs on the ceiling and in the garden. In this guest house, there is also a baleful mouth?
A what?
A baleful mouth? That of the maid, and a perfect mouth, that of a young woman of the house with whom Witold falls madly in love. We'll stop it there because the synopsis here is almost as baffling as the film itself. I guess maybe I'll start it off. It's interesting. With Cosmos, at first I was like, oh, I'm into this. This is right up my alley. It's at the onset, it seemed like it was just the right amount of crazy. But then as it progressed, I realized that I have no idea what any of these people are saying. And I really have no idea what's transpiring here. And I can't grasp any of what's going on. Like this whole movie was pretty much over my head. Like it was just beyond me. Like all I could get from it was that it was about the creative process and this guy trying to write a story and how everyone around him was going insane while he was trying to write this story about what was happening around him. And he was allowing the sparrow and these supposed omens that he was finding to drive himself mad.
Pretty much. Yeah, it just seemed like he was just desperately trying to find meaning in like every little thing that was happening.
And it was like the way that, well, first of all, the thing that really grabbed me immediately was the speed of this movie. Now, I don't know if it's something that you noticed, Kevin, but everything was done so fast. Like everybody moved at like an elevated pace. Like it was almost as if the whole movie was on like 1.5 speed or something.
Yeah.
Did you notice that? I mean, was it just me?
I didn't notice it the entire time, but there were certain sections of the film where it really felt that way.
It was just everybody was moving so fast. They were talking fast, like,
and especially when there are certain sequences where the camera's moving at a quick pace too, and it's zooming in and it's zooming out, and it's coming around the corner, and it's following all these people. It felt really sped up.
Yeah, and just especially because there were a lot of kind of communal scenes, like dinner scenes and things like that, and those scenes are just chaos. I mean, yes, it's just craziness,
and it's really difficult. And I know what you're talking about, because it was difficult for me in some of those scenes to kind of pay attention to what people were saying, because there's just so much going on, just visually.
Yeah,
there's so much movement. Everyone's moving. Everyone's talking. And everyone's doing it at such an exaggerated level, too.
Yeah, yep. Yes, this is not we're not talking neo-realism here with this movie.
No, it is. It's very, very theatrical. Everyone's over the top, and which is, in Zulawski movies, there's usually like one, maybe two people that kind of have this characters that have this mania to them. Mm-hmm. And it seems like with this movie, he's like, I'm just gonna everyone
everyone in this movie is completely batshit.
It's just everybody.
And right when you think that somebody is normal, like for a while there, I thought, I think it was Leon. I thought he was normal. I was like, okay, he's like kind of the grounded guy who, he speaks very philosophically, but he seems just kind of chill, down to earth. But then, no, I think it was like after the scene with the peas. Where that's when I realized that the peas and then him just carrying around that stick.
Yeah, because he did. You're right. He does lose it, and then he starts adding like the to like every word.
Yeah.
Which that threw me too, because it's like I already had a difficult enough time following you guys, and now you're just making up words.
It was almost as if I was watching a Shakespearean language film where it's for some reason the words that they speak go in one ear and out the other, and I can't retain any of the dialogue.
Yes, and it doesn't matter how hard you try, because there was even at a point where I had to like pause it. I'm like, I just gotta gather myself,
I gotta process this.
Like I'm gonna actually have to do some like work to comprehend what's going on here. And I'm like, I got myself amped up. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to go. Ready to do this. Turn it back on, and I was lost in like 5 seconds. Like, God damn it.
It's interesting though, because it's one of those things, and I think maybe it was intentionally made that way, where it's like nuggets of philosophy, sort of. It's like nuggets of how these people view the world, and it doesn't necessarily, at least to me, it didn't really form any kind of cohesive idea, but it was just kind of fragments. It was just like little fragments of life, and
which I think that kind of plays into what's going on here, where they're trying to, parse meaning from like, the way the axe handle's pointed.
Yeah, and the rake is placed.
Where the rake is. And like, they're trying, like everything has meaning, and it's essentially like what people, it's them doing it in life, what a lot of people do with films, where they're like, every single thing has a meaning. Yeah,
where they try to break it down. And
there's hidden meaning everywhere. No, there's little nuggets here and there, and that's it. Everything else is just nonsense. That's how life is. It's just random shit.
Well, I got to say that I really enjoyed the random shit in this one.
I did too. I was even though I have no idea really what was going on half the time, I enjoyed myself immensely.
Yes.
I was just along for the ride. I don't know what it is with Zulawski movies, but they seem to be the only one, or I shouldn't say the only one, but the main one where I'm completely bought into the mania. Mm-hmm. They're just over the top, just ridiculous. Just everyone's at 11, 24/7.
Yeah.
Like Jonathan Gannett, who plays Vitold, I mean, he's lost his mind.
Yeah. But it's so funny because it's not a slow thing. It's not like he progressively loses it. Like the very first scene, it's like this dude's mad. Like this guy is insane.
And and it looks like he has to have like the worst headache. It's just there's the strain on his face.
Yeah.
Throughout this entire movie, just his eyes look. It looks like he hasn't slept in days. Mm-hmm. I don't think he's slept, and he's just straining so much in everything that he does.
Lots of facial contortions going on in this movie.
And it's just like, and he like almost all the words coming out of his mouth have to pass through this strainer of grit teeth. Like he forces them out of his face. It looks like it looks like his face is literally giving birth to words. It looks really painful.
That being said, bravo to everyone in this cast because holy crap, like they all killed it.
Oh my god, they're all fantastic, man.
They all did such an amazing job, like just playing into the whole ridiculous over the top nature of these characters, where it was just insanity from beginning to end.
Yeah.
And there was no reprieve. It was such an exhausting film.
It truly was. It's so unbelievably exhausting. I don't know how they did it because all I had to do was sit there and just take it in through my eyes and ears, and it exhausted the hell out of me to the point where I was essentially I didn't know what was going on after like 3 minutes. My brain was like, I'm done, tapped out, tapped out. I can't do it.
It's so funny because like you're with it at first. You're with it. You're following it. You know, they're establishing the characters, and in your mind, you're like, okay, you're building your knowledge of each of these characters, their personalities, the relationships that they have with one another, and you think you have it, and you think you're following what's going on, like you're establishing the backstories and all of that, and then it just slowly crumbles, and before you even realize it, you're like, okay, well, there goes that. Now I'm just in it I'm just along for the ride at this point.
Yeah.
Like, let's just go with it. See where this takes me.
And it definitely helps with the visuals. And the
cinematography. I mean that's a huge boon for this movie is like all of the camera work fit the film, fit the theme, not the theme, the style, the frantic pace of this movie. It just fit it perfectly.
And the locations too.
Oh yeah, I mean, for the most part, it takes place in one location. Although they do go away for one night maybe to this other area, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. All the places they go,
especially like the first time they go to the beach. Mm-hmm. Just the entire look of the beach is just incredible. And then you're right, they take that trip to that, like, I guess their new home or whatever. And there's that particular sequence when they're out at night. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's just a gorgeous movie. And I liked that what they did with, there was a lot of kind of just strange cutaways and things that Zulawski did. One of the things that I liked the most, and I don't know why, maybe this just sticks out, is every morning they would get breakfast in bed and they would always cut to the food and there'd be like bugs and stuff. Like there was ants on it the one day and then a giant slug on it the other day. And it was just normal. It was just normal.
It just picks up the slug. Just picks it up.
Just puts it in that little ramekin.
I think it was like had the butter in it or something.
Yeah.
Just put the slug with the butter. Oh my.
And I also love how the friend every single day
when he comes back. He's got like a black eye.
Every single day he was beat up. It seemed like it was like every day was progressively worse.
But it's progressively worse every day. And they never really explain like what happened. Like, no. And like no one seems overly concerned about him. And he's still just chipper. Still chipper as can be.
Yeah. I think it was like, maybe it was the final day. I don't know if it was the final day where he had just all over his mouth. Like his whole mouth was just covered in blood all along his chin. And you're just like, okay, somebody's having fun.
He's having a rough go. I do like that the plot keywords for this movie, it says cat, sparrow, surrealism, peas, eating.
Yeah, well, the peas scene was a pretty major scene.
I'm just happy that IMDb recognized that. When they were done watching it, they're like, peas.
We've got to add peas.
Peas got to at least be one of the first 5 that you see on the front page. Got to have peas in there.
Because that was like Leon's blowout moment. It was so uncalled for.
Everything's gone.
Oh
He
God.
just starts making up words from that point out, and he has his whatever that stick is. I can't remember what they're called.
Was it called a? Is it called a dowsing rod?
Yeah,
Where it's supposed to locate water, right?
yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about this movie. It's really out there. Definitely not for everyone.
No, but I mean, it's one. Like you, to me, you have to see it.
I think if
You got
if
an
you're a movie
experience.
buff, yeah, if you're a movie buff, I think you should. Judging from the show, so I saw the trailer for this before watching the actual movie, and from the trailer, it seems like it's got the same kind of vibe as one like a Lanthimos, like a really kind of absurdist, one of those absurdist Greek films.
Yeah,
And it sort of does. I mean, there are certain elements of that.
it does have a French feel to it, though.
Yes,
Wow,
yes,
where it's kind
certainly.
of this like lighthearted.
And there's like a lot of references to artists and authors and things. The copious Spielberg references, I thought that kind of caught me off guard. Then, like the first time, and then they kept coming back to it. I was like, okay,
Yeah, they do discuss a lot of cinema in there, which threw me off at first. For whatever reason, I wasn't expecting that.
well, the other thing that I kind of liked and made me have even more questions was the end, the very end. I don't know if you watched it through the credits, but the movie continues as the credits are going, but they show like the making of like
Oh,
behind
yeah,
the scenes stuff of this movie, but then they kind of intersperse it with other scenes from the movie.
Yeah,
And I thought that was kind of interesting to include that. It almost adds kind of a little bit of a meta element to it.
yeah. Just I mean, just about everything works. I mean, the performances are great. You can almost watch it just for the performances alone, and you can almost just watch it for the visuals alone, the cinematography.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, there's just everything.
Yeah, definitely a lot of layers to peel away with this one too. So I definitely recommend Cosmos. Kevin, what are you going to give this out of 10?
Oh man, I have no idea. So they're just like, how do you rate something like this?
I don't know because, yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna give it like I'll say a 7.5.
I'll give it like an 8.5.
There you go. Cosmos. I don't know if this is available just yet. It's currently playing in select cities. I don't know what the availability is, so I would just keep an eye out on your VOD platform of choice. Keep an eye out for this one.
Just wait patiently, because it'll be worth the wait.
I would say if you can see it in a theater environment,
Oh my god.
yeah, check it out in the theater if you can.
I would imagine that in the theater environment, it would be even more overwhelming.
Yeah, just the speed of it. All right, let's move on and talk about Moors from America. This is written and directed by Chad Hartigan. I have a synopsis here. The romantic and coming-of-age misadventures of a 13-year-old American living in Germany. Kevin, why don't you start this one off? What did you think of Moors from America?
There's so much of this is just we've seen it before.
Oh, yeah.
And not only that, is it something that a lot of the stuff that you've seen before, and I mean, but it's just not interesting. Like there's like no life to it, except for the only portions that work are the portions that it's Craig Robinson and Marquise Christmas. When it's the father-son moments, oh my God, does it work?
Yeah.
It's fantastic. It's amazing. I would make that a TV show. I would watch it every night. Make it movies. I watch every movie. Loved it. I loved those portions of the film. the unfortunate thing is there's not a lot of those moments.
Yeah. Yeah, I pretty much agree with you for the most part on that. I thought that Craig Robinson was amazing in this. He's just such a likable guy. You just like him. And it helped that he played a really likable character in this movie too. Like, he played a good dad, and he was funny and just a cool character. And I love the dynamic between him and his son, you know?
Yeah.
It was just the two of them. They were the only black people living in this small town in Germany, and they were probably the only Americans living in this small town in Germany. So you had a lot going against them. Now, one of the things that I thought was interesting is I thought that they were going to do more with... they didn't do much with the fact that this is a black kid from America trying to fit in Germany. Like, they didn't actually do too much with that. I thought that there was going to be more discussion of race. You know?
They only kind of... They only touched
like
on
culture
it
shock or something like that.
Yeah, really the only thing they really deal with is kind of essentially how he doesn't meet the Germans' expectations. Or the, you know, kind of like the stereotypes that they have. Like, he doesn't play basketball.
Right.
Which that seemed to confuse them.
They were very confused. They called him Kobe Bryant.
And it's just, you know, it's one of those things where it's like he's not black enough for them. They're almost disappointed that he's not.
And there's a couple other small things. Like, there's one scene where so he ends up going to this after school or like youth program in the town, and the teacher ends up finding a joint behind the school or something, and immediately goes to him. So you see, there are little scenes like that in there, and I liked that. I mean, I liked that it wasn't hammering you over the head with it. I'm not saying that it should have done that, but I thought I was just expecting more of that type of stuff happening.
No, and it's more just the age-old, you know, where
for the most part, it's just your typical coming of age.
He falls for this girl. And this girl is essentially one-dimensional. She's kind of a stereotype. There's not much development with her. She's the rebel.
She's, you know, she hates her parents, so she's doing things to defy them.
Yeah, and she's just kind of awful. And even him, he's kind of one-dimensional in these portions of the film. Outside of that, or like his interactions with his dad, he's like a completely different character, which makes sense. Okay?
Exactly, because
it makes sense.
He's more guarded, he's more introverted when he is in this social environment where he doesn't fit in. And he doesn't really know any of these people. He doesn't speak the same language. He barely speaks the same language. So yeah, it's understandable, but I completely agree with you that his character is... There's not much to him outside of...
No, and you're not...
He interacts with Craig Robinson.
And in all honesty, too, you're not really, like, rooting for this relationship. Like, I'm not really rooting for the kid to get the girl.
No, because...
I'm just kind of like, like, this... Maybe...
I thought it was going to...
Find someone else, maybe?
Yeah, I thought it was going to go the route of, you know, he kind of falls for her, but she's clearly not the right person for him. But there's this other girl that likes him that he kind of ignores. And then at the end, he sees the error of his ways and goes for this other girl. They didn't go there with it, which is fine. It's, you know, kind of going against a trope of these movies. But at the same time, it falls for pretty much every other coming-of-age trope. Which, you know, I don't necessarily have a problem with. I've said it many times on this show. I like these types of movies. I liked to see Carla Uri in there from Wetlands. She plays a very different role than she played in Wetlands. But I thought she was really good. I liked her character a lot. Even though she was a snitch.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the music a lot. It's a good soundtrack.
Music was all right. Not bad.
And it had its moments. It was a charming little film, I thought.
It does have its, like I said, the stuff with Craig Robinson and Marquise Christmas, I think, are fantastic. The ending scene, the car drive, where they're driving back from Frankfurt, and Craig Robinson's giving this little story. Like, I thought that was fantastic. That whole scene was great.
You could tell that little monologue was the big crescendo.
That was their centerpiece.
And I think that it worked completely. It didn't feel ham-fisted. It didn't feel overly sentimental. It felt right.
Yeah.
And I thought that scene was, fantastic.
Just that a lot of the other stuff just really didn't work for me. And there was even that one point where they I try and show that Craig Robinson's character is, he's going through the exact same thing that Morris is. You got to remember that there's Morris as the only black kid, and then Craig Robinson is really the only black adult. So he's going through the exact same thing. He's just going through it with adults instead of kids. And it's like, it's nice to see that parallel, but at the same time, you didn't really go into it that deeply. So it just kind of feels unnecessary. It just felt like an odd, let's take this little detour for a little bit, and then we'll come back to Morris's character. Yeah, like they've just barely skimmed the surface of like his job. Like I didn't even know what his job was until much later on in the movie. Like even when he was out on the field with the soccer players, it's like, what does he do? Like I don't know what he does out there. He's just kind of walking around with a clipboard. Yeah.
I was very confused about that, but I did like those scenes though. Like they were subtle. Like the one scene where he's just sitting at the table by himself. Like you just feel so bad for him, and that's maybe a little emotionally manipulative, but I think it's designed to show that this is a lonely guy too. Like he's
even more so than Morris.
Yeah, I mean, especially because that particular scene happens after Morris starts going to the youth club or whatever and starts hanging out with the girl and going to parties and stuff. And he's just, it's just kind of sad. You feel so bad for Craig Robinson.
Mm-hmm.
And the scene when he calls the sex line. Dude, you just feel bad for the guy.
Yeah.
And I guess that was like the biggest thing. Is like I just wanted more Craig Robinson.
True. I wanted more Craig Robinson and Marquise. Just them two. Just those two hanging out.
Yeah, because it was a great dynamic.
Fantastic.
And those were the funniest moments too.
Yes.
Like the comedy comes from that.
That's, in all honesty, for me, that was the only time the movie had life.
Yeah, because none of the other stuff is really that funny at all.
No, it's not.
Except for the one scene where he goes, what did he say? And she goes, he said, I'm stupid and I play the flute. Whatever.
Yes, and the guy freaking out when they put his flute in the tree.
Yeah.
He freaks out like a little baby. That was kind of funny.
Yeah, other than that, didn't really care much for it. I didn't really care much for the little road trip that he takes. And that, like, the party where he sees his German teacher.
Yeah.
That had me feeling a little meh.
Nope. Didn't really work for me.
Yeah. Overall, though, I found it to be pretty entertaining. And there's some interesting camera work in there, too. It didn't feel like an American film. It felt like a European film to me.
Yeah, he gets cute with the iris in and iris out, which I've never been a fan of that.
I know, but I like it.
I did like that. I liked the way he shot the car scene at the end. I did enjoy that.
I liked the scene when he was walking across the bridge at the beginning and saw the porno mag.
That was just the look on his face, the way he reacts, and then immediately cut to him at home with it. And I like how he just sits down at the table. He's got a sandwich.
He makes the sandwich.
He's got everything ready to go. He's making a fucking moment out of it. It's not just like, oh, let me check, let me flip through this thing. No,
I gotta get a meal together.
I gotta dig in.
Yeah, I liked that. So, all right, Morris from America. This is available on VOD, so you can give this a rent. I'd recommend it. I'd give it a light recommend. Kevin, what are you going to give Morris from America out of 10?
I give it 6.
Yep, I'm going 6.5 on this one.
Ooh.
Yeah, we have a review for this up on the site. Ken wrote a review for us. He gave it a 6.5 as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
All on the line right there.
Yeah.
We all feel the same way about
Morris. It's not... I thought that there were a lot of other... we've been seeing a ton of these types of coming-of-age stories over the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And I felt like the other ones have done it better. Like, I thought Wetlands was more interesting in its execution. I thought that Girlhood was better. I
think
Mustang.
The main thing that Morris from America has going for it is its depiction, Craig Robinson's dad, him as a father, the way that character is shaped. I think that's the main thing that works for this.
Yep. And I just wanted more of that. That's the thing. Like, it was good. I just want more of that. And I feel like that they spent so much time with the whole love story that you knew really wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah. Right from the outset, you're like, no chemistry. There's no chemistry here. I'm not rooting for this relationship. I want this relationship to like catch fire and then crash into the ground, and then we move on to something else.
Yeah, because she wasn't even likable. She wasn't even a likable person. She shot his wiener with water.
Which it's such an odd thing. It was like such a weird build-up.
Yeah, it's like, who cares? That was like the lamest prank ever.
Yeah. If I was Marquise, I would probably freak out and be that would stay in my head for like the next 4 weeks or whatever.
For the next 5 years.
I would think about it constantly. It's just odd that scene, because the poster, the poster is
right,
holding up with the water gun, and I'm thinking, okay, so there's like something going on with the water gun here. And then when that scene pops up, you're like, that's the water gun thing?
That's it? It was such an insignificant moment in the movie.
Like, that's it? Okay. It's odd. I just found it really odd. I don't know what that was all about.
I don't think it was supposed to be a big moment. I think that it was just a marketing thing.
It's just a weird marketing thing, though.
Because they were like, oh, well, he's kind of an aspiring rapper, and he's into the gangster rap, so he's going to have a gun, but he's young, so he's a little kid, so they're going to give him a water gun.
I don't know.
Yeah, it didn't work. Didn't really work.
No.
All right, that's Morris from America. Let's move on and talk about some of what we've been watching on the watch list. I think it's my turn this week. Either way, I'm going to go. I saw 1990, The Bronx Warriors. This is from 1982. It's directed by...
So it's in the future?
Yeah. So it was made in 82, but it took place in 90. And it was directed by Enzo Castellari. So it's an Italian film. Takes place in the Bronx. And it's basically a Warriors ripoff.
Yeah, well, I was kind of thinking, I guess, right there in the title.
It is very much a Warriors ripoff. It's almost like a cross between the Warriors and Escape from New York, where the Bronx is now kind of owned by the gangs. And each gang has their own specific theme. And they're the most ridiculous things you will ever see. There's like the dancing ones where they all kind of do this silly in dancing. It's like choreographed dance fighting and stuff. The main gang, they're like a biker gang. And the great thing is the one dude has on his bike, he has a button that he presses and blades shoot out from the sides of his bike and he runs people down with them.
Yes.
There's a scene in this towards the end where there's like it's sort of like an evil conglomerate, an evil corporation called the Manhattan Corporation they have like a siege on all the gangs, and they go in. They don't go in with guns. They have guns, but the main weapon that they go in with is flamethrowers. Everybody is on horseback, and they have flamethrowers. And it's like, it seems like a little overkill. You could go in with guns, but no, you got to burn them alive. Like, we're not just going to kill them. We want to burn these people alive. So they all have flamethrowers.
Okay.
And it's a giant flamethrower battle.
It's just, and you wonder where they're getting flamethrowers.
Well, this is like a huge corporation, so they can afford tons of flamethrowers.
I guess that's true.
The whole Escape from New York thing also comes into play because the, I guess, heiress of this corporation, she's going to take over when she turns 19 for whatever reason, and I think they were going to kill her so that they could run it themselves, so she kind of runs away to the Bronx to seek refuge. So they're trying to get her.
It seems like the last place that she, like, is the rest of the world destroyed?
No, the rest of the world's normal.
Yeah, you would think that you would go somewhere where there's not a shit ton of gangs.
Yeah, well, she got lucky and ended up with she almost got raped, but then the good gang, the biker gang, I think they were called like I can't remember the name of them. Either way, they're the good guys. They came and saved her. Yeah, some of the names in this, everybody had ridiculous names. The main character's name was Trash.
There's Hammer.
Hammer was kind of the bad guy. He was this like mercenary who was hired by the Manhattan Corporation basically to go in to the Bronx and just kill everybody.
I see here that Fred Williamson's in there as the ogre.
Yeah, he's the leader of the biggest gang in the Bronx. So he's the king of the Bronx, he calls himself.
Okay.
And he's pretty awesome. You see a little Fred Williamson karate in there.
Oh, nice.
It's pretty solid.
Nice.
And Betty Desi plays the witch, and she has a whip, so she uses a whip.
Yes.
But she also has these kind of claw fingers.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
That sounds pretty awesome.
I recommend this movie. It's a little cheesy, but it has an amazing opening title sequence. The music is pretty on point, and it's so over the top and just ridiculous. It's very violent too, but I had a blast with this one, so I definitely recommend 1990 The Bronx Warriors.
It sounds so ridiculous.
Yeah, highly recommend.
It sounds like the type of movie that you would be disappointed if it wasn't cheesy.
Yeah, and the whole thing's dubbed too, which is even better. Like, it's one of these deals where it's an Italian movie, but I mean all the actors are American, but they dubbed it anyway because that's just how Italian filmmakers rolled back then.
That's how you gotta do it.
Yeah,
just makes more sense that way.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I didn't get to watch much because my dog doesn't like me watching movies. But I did watch Reminiscences of a Journey to Lithuania. This is it's kind of like an experimental documentary from Jonas Mekas from 1972. So essentially what this is it's just a home movie. That's all it is. It's a home movie. 76 minutes of a home movie. People seem to really enjoy this. I did not. It's, like I said, it's essentially a whole movie. It's just him taking footage of, he takes a trip back to his home village. So you get all this footage. I mean, he's got tons and tons of footage. And it's cut together. It's him meeting with family members. It's him goofing off. It's him sitting down at dinner and, singing songs, all this stuff. Just cut together, and then essentially him doing kind of like a voiceover narration of, about his childhood and memories and this and that, which bits and pieces of it obviously are more interesting than others. But overall, as a whole, 76 minutes of this, it's okay. It's all right. I mean, it's interesting because, it's Lithuania, it's his life. So it's definitely interesting here and there. But, as a film, it's just, there's not a lot going on here. There's some good footage there here and there. But, I mean, it's like a home movie footage. That's all it is.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah, I just don't really, I was really let down. I kind of judging from how everyone, because, I mean, everyone seems to love it. So I thought, man, it should be pretty decent. But I wasn't feeling it at all.
I saw one that I was not feeling. It's called Bad Biology. This is directed by Frank Henenlotter, who did the Basket Case movies.
Yeah.
And I was a fan of those. They were just so ridiculous and schlocky that they were fun. This one's not fun. This is written by R.A. the Rugged Man.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I thought you'd get a kick out of that. It's written and produced by R.A. the Rugged Man, and he's in it too.
Oh my God.
You remember him?
Hell yeah.
It also features a bunch of underground hip-hop artists, including Remedy. Remedy's in it.
Huh?
Vinny Paz is in it.
Yes.
There's a couple other ones too.
Now, I gotta know, and hopefully you can help me out here. Vinny Paz's voice.
Yeah.
Is it like, does he talk that way? Like it's just like he talks?
Yeah. He doesn't have many lines in this, but yeah, that's how he kind of talked.
He's so angry.
Maybe he was a little bit softer and less angry in this, but it's pretty much his voice.
He just yells everything.
Yeah.
J-Zone is in it?
Yeah, yep.
I like how it's just buried in the middle here is Eleanor Hendricks.
Yeah.
Plays crack whore.
Yep. It's got a decent soundtrack, but that's really all I can say about it. It's about a woman who has 7 clitorises.
It's got Prince Paul's in it.
Prince Paul's in it, yeah. And he does Prince Paul does the music, like he does the score.
Oh shit.
Mm-hmm. So it's about a woman who has 7 clitori, and she's like this kind of, she has this insatiable hunger for men, and she ends up killing all the men that she sleeps with because she just loses control. And then because of this kind of mutant vagina that she has, she ends up getting pregnant and giving birth 2 hours later every single time. And she ends up giving birth to this like mutant baby thing. Because of the 7. Yeah, I guess. It's like a mutation.
All right.
She ends up meeting this guy who also has a mutant penis.
Right.
And the mutant penis eventually rips out of his body and does its own thing for a while. It's unbelievably terrible. It is so bad. I can't. I don't even know what to say about this one. It's just awful. I'm not going to spend more time on it. I just wanted to mention it because of the hip hop people that are in it.
Vinny Paz.
Yep.
What's Vinny Paz do?
He
because it says here that he plays himself. So what, did he just go to like
he does, yeah. He
Jedi Mind Trick show or something?
No. He's there. Okay, so the main character is a photographer, and she's doing a photo shoot with some of the rappers, and Vinny Paz is one of them.
Gotcha.
So he's only in really one scene.
Okay.
And R.A. the Rugged Man's in one scene too. But yeah, it's pretty bad. Soundtrack's decent, but
sounds awful. It just sounds downright awful.
It is. It reminded me of a Trauma movie, actually.
It sounds worse than a Trauma movie.
Not so sure about that.
The only other thing that I watched was The Future Perfect, I checked this out on Festival Scope. This is another one of the Carno films that they have up there right now for free. This also very disappointing. It's about it's a young girl, Chinese girl living in Argentina, and she's kind of being interviewed about her life and such. And she, it's just kind of like a talking head type thing. It doesn't really have the look or feel of like a documentary or anything. It feels like a straightforward narrative cinema. And so they have that, and then cut in with that is her living her life, which she works at some supermarkets at a deli and stuff. She meets this Indian guy who also lives in Argentina, and they start essentially dating, I guess, but their relationship it's not that interesting. There's really no life to the relationship. And then of course it's like 2 dates in, he's like, we should get married. It's all rather odd. Because she's also cut in with this is her taking classes to learn Spanish because she doesn't know any Spanish, but yet she speaks Spanish the entire movie. So that's, I guess, interesting.
I don't understand.
Yeah, it's just there's all these things, and then towards the end, it's the interviewer's just kind of asking her like, "Hey, how do you think your parents would feel if they met Vijay, your Indian boyfriend?" And she's like, "Oh, well, they want me to get married to a Chinese guy, so they would be really upset." So, and then she goes through like different versions of what could happen, and then they play out. So it'll be like one. So the future perfect. So she's talking about the future, and then they kind of show, here's this timeline of what could happen, and they act it out. And then she's like, this could also happen, and they act it out. And you're just kind of, at least for me, there comes a point where I'm just like, I'm not interested. There's nothing here. There's nothing. I'm not invested in any of this. You're just going about like different things that could happen, and none of them are interesting. And there's not much going on visually. There's not much going on because all the acting's kind of, it's serviceable, but at the same time, everything's so limp. There's no life to it. There's no energy to it. There's nothing. Everything's just so damn limp.
Well, that's unfortunate.
Yeah. I have limited time to watch movies, okay? And it's really irritating when they're a waste of time. Because I just, like, as soon as I'm done, I'm like, God damn it. I had an hour and a half to watch a movie, and it wasn't good.
Yeah, it's always unfortunate, but you never know. Maybe it was going to be amazing. Who knows?
Well, that's why I picked it. It's, Letterboxd was 4 stars, 4 stars. I was like, here we go. This is the one.
This is it.
And it wasn't.
It was not the one.
It was not the one.
I saw an interesting one called LFO.
I've been wanting to see this for a while.
This is a Scandinavian film about a guy who discovers that there is a frequency that can be played that will allow you to control people's minds, basically influence their thoughts. And at first, he kind of experiments on himself. Like he tells himself, "You hate cookies. You hate all sweets." So like the next day, he makes his coffee and he goes to eat like a biscuit or something, and it grosses him out. He can't stand it. So then he's like, "You like sweets in moderation," and then he's able to eat cookies again. And then he realizes he has kind of a crush on his neighbor who just moved in, but unfortunately she's married. So he kind of starts experimenting on them. Like they go away for a weekend, and he sets up speakers and like listening devices in their house, and he's able to kind of play the tone remotely and control them. And it gets a little out of control, but then he kind of is like, I got to rein this back. But then he just goes full on and is like, I'm going to change the world. And it gets pretty crazy. It was interesting. It's very, most of it takes place just in this guy's house, and that's pretty much it. I think the whole thing, actually, now I'm thinking back. So, one location, not a lot of kind of crazy special effects or anything like that going on in this one. So, it's very much kind of a lo-fi sci-fi movie. But I enjoyed it for the most part. There's one aspect of it which I wasn't a big fan of, and that's his wife and son were killed a few years prior, and throughout the movie they kind of visit him and talk to him just a lot, mostly the wife. So he continues to interact with his wife even though she's dead. And for some reason I don't like that in movies. Any movie that does that, I'm not a big fan of.
I'm not a fan of it either. And but also in this film that you're talking about, it sounds kind of unnecessary.
It kind of speaks to his state of mind, because you realize that he's sort of unhinged, like he is not mentally stable at all. Yeah. And you don't know that at the beginning. You come to find that out, but by the time you find it out, it's like the wife already visited him many, many times and had many conversations with him, and it's like, all right, we get it. He's crazy. He should not have this power. But overall, though, still pretty entertaining watch, and it's a really interesting premise in and of itself.
Yeah.
Just, like, what would you do if you had the ability to just... And he can do whatever he wants. Like, he sets it up in his house, so he has a remote, and he just hits a button, and he just tells them whatever. Like, he'll be like, clean my house, and they do it. So it is an interesting little movie. I saw... You didn't see anything else, right?
No, I'm done.
So I can try to breeze through these. I saw Cannibal the Musical. I never saw this movie. It's directed by...
I'm really surprised by
that. Yeah. I never got around to seeing this one. This is directed by Trey Parker. So this is like kind of the first thing that Trey Parker and Matt Stone did. And it was a trauma movie. And it was, it's a musical comedy about sort of, I guess, inspired by the Donner Party in a way, about this expedition to Colorado, and just terrible things happen, and they end up having to eat one another. Mm-hmm. It was okay. It was interesting because this was a nothing, like no budget movie. This is a shoestring budget, and it's like they really stretched whatever kind of meager amounts of money they had for this thing. Like the music was actually pretty good, and the quality of the music was pretty good, like the musical numbers. Mm-hmm. And there were some scenes that really made me laugh, and it's like you could just see the talent there. Like you knew, like looking back, you're like, okay, well clearly this guy's going to go on to do some pretty interesting things.
Yeah.
I mean, I doubt anybody would have been able to predict something as huge as South Park, but still, it was an enjoyable little movie. I saw Blood Feast from 1963. This is by Herschel Gordon Lewis. It's a classic horror.
Can you say the title one more time, real
Blood
quick?
Feast.
Fantastic title. Say it one more time for me.
Blood Feast.
Nice.
So this is kind of the movie that started the trend of gore in movies. Before this, movies weren't very gory. This movie was so extreme for the time. It was shot in color too, so it's very, very colorful, and it's just, the movie itself is terrible. It is, I mean, this is like a Z movie. It's like Ed Wood levels almost. It's just the only reason that it exists is for an excuse to show a lot of dismemberment and blood on screen. I mean, that's the only reason for this to exist. It's about a guy who owns a catering business, and for some reason he's obsessed with this Egyptian ritual of cooking human body parts and then sacrificing a young woman. So he goes around and kills women and takes different body parts and then tries to cook them up at a party, at like a dinner party, and serve them to people. And it's bad, but you have to, like, I appreciate it for kind of paving the way for violence in films. I mean, this movie was huge when it came out. Like, it was just sold out everywhere, and everybody was going to see it because there was just nothing like it. There was the level of violence and gore in this, and it's, you know, by today's standards, it's nothing, but it was still pretty. I thought it was still pretty intense. So, if you're a horror fan, I would say it's a must watch. But if you're not really big on like the history of horror in movies, I would say it's probably not worth seeing. One that I will say is worth seeing for everyone is Assault on Precinct 13, the original one from 1976.
Damn, you switched into another movie.
I did.
And that was quick. You took a quick right turn.
Well, when I have to do a whole bunch of them in succking, I feel bad.
Oh man,
for like, making you sit here, so I try to hurry through them.
It's like Cosmos all over again.
Yeah,
you're lost.
So, Assault on Precinct 13. This is by John Carpenter. This is another. I know. This is another one where I've tried to watch this movie so many times, and every time I ever had a copy of it, it's been the worst quality ever. And I've always turned it off because I'm like, this is garbage. This is garbage quality. And I don't want to see this. Well, now they have since remastered it, and it is available in HD. I think Scream Factory put it out. So there's a Blu-ray version. I saw it on Shudder, the streaming service. But anyway, at any rate, it's really good quality. This movie is out of control. It is so good. I mean, I love all John Carpenter movies for the most part, and this has to be one of his best. It is just, from start to finish, it is like almost perfect. It's just, it's so fantastic. From the scene where this guy kills, and it's a really famous scene. I've seen it a million times, but in the actual movie, it just had so much more impact. But a guy kills a little girl, and you're just like, they went there with it. Like, he didn't pull the camera away. He didn't do anything. Just shows a guy randomly shooting a girl in the chest after she gets ice cream from an ice cream truck.
Okay.
And you're just like, holy shit, this movie is going to be intense. And basically, the whole movie is just it's a siege movie. So it's just this gang of, I don't know, there's like 150 people in this gang. It's a huge gang. And they're laying siege on this police station that's about to be shut down and moved to another building. So there's only like 2 cops there, and then a couple prisoners, and then some women that work there as well. And it's just nonstop. One of the things that I appreciated so much about this movie that I didn't really know was that the main character is a black guy, and the female lead is probably the biggest badass in the whole movie. And, you know, by today's standards, that's not a huge deal. I mean, we have black action stars everywhere, but this is 1976. I mean, the only other movie that I can think of might be Night of the Living Dead, which this definitely had a Night of the Living Dead vibe to it.
Yeah. Just
with gang members instead of zombies. And, I mean, for that alone, I was like, holy crap. Like, the girl in this, she is such a badass. Like, this dude tries to run up and essentially kill her, and she waits till he gets really close and then slashes his throat. And it was just such a crazy bad. And she didn't, you know, fall down. She didn't get hysterical. She stayed cool, and she was just a badass. But I recommend this movie to anyone. I think it's so good. And John Carpenter is so awesome, and this movie is just fantastic.
I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, it's great. Highly recommended. I saw Body Melt from 1993. This is a very gory body horror movie from Philip Brophy. It's an Australian film.
Okay, all right.
It's funny. This is an early 90s movie, and I couldn't really pinpoint the time period of this. And then there's one scene where a kid does some sweet rollerblading on a vert ramp. And I was like, okay, this is the 90s. This is definitely the 90s. This one's pretty good. It's kind of a horror comedy.
All I know is I just read the synopsis for this, and then I checked out the poster that walks me through the 3 stages of body melt.
Oh, yeah.
And all I can say is I need to see body melt.
It is ridiculous. The aspect ratio is it's terrible, but street trash, that's what I was trying to think of. Street trash. It's like a 90s Australian version of street trash where people there is so much colored goo that comes out of people. But I will say that the special effects work, like the crazy creature effects, it almost has kind of a Thing vibe where there's these like flailing tendrils that come out of people. So it has this, the effects work's actually pretty good.
It's from the special effects lab of Dead Alive and Matrix Reloaded.
Oh, there you go.
Anytime a movie on the front of the cover or the poster or whatever, when they're saying that it's from someone that's not the director or the producer, you know that like they watched it and they're like, this is the only selling point.
Yeah, then we got to sell it on this. Definitely.
Who puts from the special effects lab?
The effects work is the highlight. I mean, the rest of the movie is pretty shit. It's pretty bad. It's ridiculous. I mean, it is definitely one of those so bad it's good movies, but I'd still recommend checking it out. It's a little bit of a hidden gem, I'd say. It's called Body Melt. I saw Magic from 1978. This is directed by Richard Attenborough.
Ooh.
Yeah. Mr. Jurassic Park himself, Richard Attenborough. Okay. This is a weird one. This stars Anthony Hopkins as a ventriloquist who is insane, and he ends up killing people with his ventriloquist dummy. And Anthony Hopkins' name in this is Corky.
That's a perfect name.
His name's Corky, and his dummy's name is Fats.
Yes.
Anne Margaret's in this. It's such a weird movie. This is a strange one. I didn't actually enjoy it. I thought I was gonna really enjoy it, but I actually didn't like it too much. It's almost, I don't know, it's sort of a Psycho-esque movie where instead of the mom, it's the dummy, and he's just kind of unhinged and randomly loses it and kills people. It's not that interesting, actually. It sounds like it'd be interesting.
I'm kind of surprised that it's not.
It plays out like kind of a boring episode of Tales from the Crypt. That's what it reminds me of.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, Magic is one that I can't really recommend. I saw Imperium. This is the new one that came out with Daniel Radcliffe, where he plays an undercover cop going to infiltrate the skinheads.
Ooh.
This was okay. It wasn't great. We're not talking like American History X here or anything, but it was fine for kind of a procedural thriller. Daniel Radcliffe did a good job in it. Toni Collette's in it. She did a pretty good job too, except there was this thing where she was chewing gum the whole time because she's trying to quit smoking, so she's chewing gum. And it was just really annoying. I don't know why.
Does she do it with her mouth open? That's the question. Yes. Yeah, fuck that. I ain't watching that movie. Fuck that.
It was just, I don't know, it was annoying. It was based on a true story, so maybe that was
the one sort of fucking thing that they picked out, and they're like, we got to be authentic. She's got it.
Yeah. It seems like that's something.
Just fucking change it. There's no reason. I don't want to hear people chew. That's the last thing I want to do.
Either way, Imperium's on VOD now, and I'd give it a light recommend. I'd probably score it like a 6 out of 10 or something like that. I gave it a 3 out of 5 on Letterboxd.
Okay.
Entertaining, but forgettable. Like, it's one of these movies that doesn't really have any kind of lasting power. I enjoyed it while I was watching it, one other thing that kind of bugged me about it was they intersperse like newsreel footage and stuff like that from like Hitler footage, and then kind of like white supremacist marches throughout the years and stuff like that. And they just kind of flash it up on the screen, you know? And I could have done without that. It was,
Yeah.
I don't like it when movies do that either. So that's Imperium, and that's all I saw.
Man.
Yeah, I had a big week. I had off one day this week, and I made decision to just watch movies. So I watched 6 movies on Friday.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I busted it out. Oh, I saw Microwave Massacre too.
How?
I forgot to add that.
How do you forget that?
It was the last one I saw, and I didn't refresh my diary on Letterboxd.
Oh, come on, man! You gotta tell me about this.
Yeah, so if you listened to the show last week, I mentioned that Microwave Massacre was coming out on Blu-ray from Arrow, and I was able to give it a watch, and it's horrible. It is so bad. I could barely watch this one. I had to space it out over 2 days because it is so unenjoyable. It's just so Jackie Vernon stars in this. Now, I don't know if you know who Jackie Vernon is. He was a big stand-up, maybe a relatively big stand-up comic.
Oh my god!
Back in the day,
everything about this. The poster to this is the poster and the synopsis. Even the director's name, Wayne Berwick. Mm-hmm. There's so many things to like here.
It's absolutely terrible. For some reason, I got this kind of Eating Raoul vibe to it, but like a much shittier, horrible version of Eating Raoul.
Eating Raoul filtered through excessive incompetence.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it was like if the director of Porky's did Eating Raoul.
I do like that. I just learned that Jackie Vernon is the voice of Frosty.
Yeah, so he did Frosty the Snowman in those classic '60s cartoons, but he was a big stand-up comic back then, and he his whole shtick was he's sort of like Rodney Dangerfield, and unfortunately that translates into the movie, and basically every line out of his mouth is some sort of zinger. And it's just so bad. It is not funny at all. And basically, it's just about a guy who his wife buys this super fancy microwave and decides that she's only going to cook gourmet foods. And he just wants a sandwich. Like, this guy just wants a pastrami on rye or whatever the hell. And one night they get in a big argument and he ends up killing her, and then he eats a piece of her by accident the next day.
How you accidentally eat
because he
piece
thought
of a dead person.
So after he kills her, he chops her up and wraps her in aluminum foil and puts her in the freezer, or maybe it's the fridge. And the next day he was hungry and he's like, well, I guess I'll try one of her. I don't have anything else to eat, so I'll try one of her meals that she prepared. So he thought that this was one of the meals that she prepared, but it turned out he was actually eating part of her arm because he was like, oh, this is pretty good. And then,
but how
don't even try.
Come on,
don't try. It's so then he starts feeding pieces of her to the people that he works with, and they all love it. And then he starts getting these prostitutes back to his house, and then he kills them and chops them up and starts making meals out of them.
This is the question that I immediately had, because my favorite thing about the Microwave Massacre poster, besides the kind of legend for Major Electric, I'm not sure what that is quite, and not only that way, and Jackie Vernon's face too. That's something else. Yeah. But I noticed that they're all arms. Yeah. They look like it's all forearms. Does he only eat the forearms? Because there's almost like 14, 15 forearms on this poster here.
I mean, I don't think it's supposed to be like that, but all they really show is severed arms for the most part.
It's just that's his favorite cut.
Yeah, I mean they don't get really graphic with this. I mean, nothing about this movie is very. It's not like over the top gory or anything. It's pretty. It's supposed to be a comedy first and foremost. So like the limbs and things like that, they don't look real at all. It's just awful on every level. It is not an enjoyable watch whatsoever. Terrible. Just it's full of puns too. Like the level of puns. I mean, I guess that's part of Jackie Vernon's shtick as well.
He's all about puns.
He's a pun guy. Definitely a pun guy. So, Microwave Massacre, avoid, please. It's just awful. Let's talk about some predictions.
All right. Let's do it.
Ben-Hur, you said 0. I said 32. Actual 29.
Who the fuck gave this a positive review?
Some people.
I'm looking it up right now. It's got 30 fresh. Out of 105, he's got 30 fresh. Leonard Maltin, fucking on it.
Well, if Leonard Maltin gave it a fresh, then we know.
Oh, God.
Then we know it's fresh. Oh, God. All right. Kubo and the Two Strings. You said 86. I said 84. Actual 96.
Damn.
Yeah, apparently it's really good. I didn't have a chance to see it. I was too busy watching Microwave Massacre. War Dogs. You said 52. I said 43. Actual 59. Kind of middling.
Yeah.
Next week we have Mechanic Resurrection. Mechanic Resurrection. Why couldn't we just call it Mechanic 2? Why are you going to put this stupid subtitle in there? If I remember correctly, I liked Mechanic. I'm not a big Jason Statham movie guy. Like, I like Jason Statham. Don't get me wrong, but his movies all feel very, very samey to me.
Oh, definitely.
But the Mechanic was different. I think that was one that I really enjoyed. I think that was the one with Ben Foster.
Yes, you are correct.
I liked that one. That one was quite good. This new one looks very much like a pretty typical Jason Statham movie, so I don't know.
Yeah.
What are you thinking on Mechanic Resurrection?
I'm thinking a 42.
I'll say 28 on that one.
All right.
Let's see. What else do we have here? Don't Breathe. This is the new one from Fede Alvarez, the guy who did the Evil Dead remake.
Okay.
I'm actually pretty excited for this one. I don't have lofty expectations for it or anything, but it's I don't know. Have you seen any trailers for this?
I have not. No.
So it's basically about three friends who they heard that this old guy is very wealthy and he has this stash of like hundreds of thousands of dollars in his house. So they decide to go rob him, and it turns out that he's blind. But but it also turns out that he's some kind of like psycho killer.
Mm-hmm.
He's like a slasher or something, and so they have to kind of navigate through this house of horrors, trying to avoid this blind guy who's out to kill them. Seems really cool. The trailer makes it look very interesting. So I'll say 56 on that one.
I'm gonna say 50.
All right. And as far as wide releases, I think that's it.
Okay.
Release, we have Kate Plays Christine. This is the one where it's kind of it's a documentary about Caitlin Scheel playing that reporter who ended her own life on air.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see this. This looks interesting.
This is one of the, I think one of the most anticipated films for me this year.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it looks very, very interesting. So yeah, that comes out a weird day. It's not on Friday. August 24th. That comes out. So it comes out Wednesday.
Middle of the week.
Yeah, it's a Wednesday release.
Yeah, all right.
Those are always odd. We have The Haulers. I think that's John Krasinski. I think it's a Kevin Rakestraw movie.
I don't remember doing this movie. You can tell from the poster, though, that it's going to be boring as shit.
Yeah.
And it's going to be excessively white.
It does not look... Yeah, it doesn't look appealing to me. Miyamad.
Anytime they just have still frames from the movie.
Yeah. Yep. Mia Madre comes out. South Side with You. That's the love story of Barack Obama, Michelle Obama.
Okay, yeah.
That one doesn't.
Like their first date or whatever.
Yeah.
Seems like a really odd thing to make a movie.
It's kind of a cool idea, but the movie itself doesn't look appealing to me.
It just seems weird to me. It seems odd.
It's also odd that it's coming out when he's still president.
Yeah.
So that's kind of I don't know. In Order of Disappearance, Floyd Norman, An Animated Life. That's about the first African-American animator for Disney.
Oh, cool.
Hands of Stone and The Intervention. I want to see The Intervention. It looks...
I want to see the In Order of Disappearance.
Yeah, I want to see that too.
What about... did you say The Sea of Trees?
No.
Sea of Trees? You remember The Sea of Trees?
Sea of Trees comes out. That's
The Sea of Trees?
Is that Naomi Watts?
Isn't that the Gus Van Sant movie from like a couple of years ago?
Oh yeah, the Matthew McConaughey one.
Can or something like that. It's got a 5%.
Yeah, it's got a 5%.
It took forever. I'm surprised it even came out. Really.
I don't know what's up with Gus Van Sant. I feel like I don't know what to say about his movies.
Kent 2.
Also, yeah, Uncle Kent 2 and Complete Unknown. That was another one that
I'm really looking forward to Uncle Kent 2.
You should be. I've seen it.
I know. That's why.
It's very... If you're into the whole meta style, it's very meta. I hate using that word, but that's what it is.
It is maybe one of the worst words ever.
It is, but it's the most effective way of describing those types of stories. I don't know a better way.
Just make a new word. I'm cool with it. Just make a new word.
Well, let's brainstorm on that this week. We'll come up with a new word instead of meta, because then we sound like douches when we say it.
Yeah, I don't think we can really help that.
No, probably not. Next week on VOD, we have Bloodfather, The Intervention, In Order of Disappearance, Ace the Case, Manhattan Mystery.
I love this new, just put blood and then something.
Bloodfather.
Just using the word blood like the word the.
Well, that's the Mel Gibson one. Bloodfather.
I just Blood Glacier, Bloodfather.
Blood Glacier, yeah.
I hope at some point in time we have a blood and then every word in the English language movie.
Ace the Case Manhattan Mystery sounds like one of those free-to-play hidden object games that you have on your phone.
Oh my god! It's good. Is that a dachshund on the front of there?
Yeah, and Susan Sarandon, family film.
Okay.
Floyd Norman, An Animated Life, and Uncle Kent 2. So lots of stuff to choose from next week for sure. And I would definitely recommend Uncle Kent 2. Just go into it knowing that it is ridiculous.
I'm still stuck on the Ace the Case Manhattan Mystery. So
what you're saying is you want to review that next week?
Go to the page. I go to the page. Banner image is Susan Sarandon with a gun. So there's gun
violence. There's brutal violence.
She's pointing at somebody. I don't know who she's pointing at, but she's pointing at somebody. So there's gunplay in there. But the other thing that I noticed on the poster is the girl, because the little girl, she's got the dachshund on the leash and everything. And I'm like, what's she holding on to here? What animal is this? That's a giant fucking rabbit. That rabbit's bigger than that dachshund.
Wow. Impressive.
I kind of want to see if something. I just kind of want to know what's going on with that rabbit, really.
I really, honestly, just want to see her ace the case.
Well,
I just want to see her dominate that case.
That's what we're all looking for. You know, she's got to ace the case.
From what I understand, it's about an innocent man that's on death row for raping and murdering five young women.
Damn.
And it's up to her to ace the case.
Oh God.
Yeah. The Innocence Project wouldn't touch it, so she decided to take it over.
Damn.
She's an ambitious little girl. What can I say?
You know, well, it does, it says she's a plucky kid.
Yep. That's what it is.
That's the kind of stuff plucky kids get themselves into. Now, is she ace in the case, or is Susan Sarandon ace in the case?
I think she's acing the case.
Susan Sarandon is just kind of helping out. She's
her mentor. More of a mentor figure.
Yeah, that makes sense. I also kind of want to know, what does the dachshund and the giant, like, radioactive rabbit, what do
Probably
they play?
comedic relief.
Okay. I wonder if they talk. I really hope they talk.
Something tells me they don't, but who knows?
But keep in mind it's PG-13. There's some elements of violence. That's the gunplay.
Oh, PG-13. Wow.
Peril and brief teen drinking. So.
Uh-oh. I'm actually surprised that's PG-13.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta. Honestly, I was starting out just kind of like joking around here, but the more I read about it, I'm kind of getting hooked. It just sounds ridiculous.
The cover's just so bad and the title's so bad that
it sure is. It's just really jarring to see that poster and then the still image is Susan Sarandon with a mean look on her face pointing a gun at somebody.
I don't know. I guess maybe one of us can find out next week and we can watch it. But that's not going to be me. I'm not going to watch it.
You don't want to review it for the show?
No, probably not. Probably not.
Let's give it to Ryan.
Well, yeah, could give it to Ryan. Next week on Blu-ray, we have The Huntsman Winter's War. We have The Nice Guys, Ratchet and Clank, Clown, that one from 2014 that never came out here for some reason, and then finally did get released. Wiener Dog, The Duel, Der Bunker, which I wanted to see that, and it was one of those that just kind of, I missed it. But I still want to see it because it just looks so weird.
Sure does.
That's pretty much it. So I'm looking for any kind of interesting re-releases. I'm not seeing much. City on Fire from 1979. The first season of Ash vs. Evil Dead comes out.
Yeah.
It was a good series. It wasn't great, but it was good. The Bloodstained Butterfly from 1971 is getting a re-release from Arrow, so I might look into that one.
Okay.
What do we got on the old Criterion front there?
Oh my goodness, we got two. We got Taste of Honey from 1961, but from Tony Richardson. That's coming out on the old Blu-ray. And then we also have Woman in the Dunes coming out from 1964 on Blu-ray. It says collector's set here. That's also going to come. That's also going to be available on Hulu Plus if you have that.
Cool. All right.
There you go.
There you have it. I think that's going to do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. You can send us your questions and topics to podcast@filmpulse.net. You can follow us on Twitter @FilmPulseNet and @FilmPulseKevin. And if you have a minute, take a look at our Patreon page, patreon.com/FilmPulse, and consider helping us out by becoming a subscriber. For Kevin Rakestraw, my name's Adam Patterson. We'll see you next week.
When we review Ace the Case.
When we review Ace the Case, Manhattan Mystery.